What's going on out there, gangsters? It's Greg Medford and Amy from Medford Knife and ASK and MKT and all that. What's going on, Ames?
Oh, I'm just slammed. I'm reeling from Blade Show. I've
Well,
had lots going on.
crazy. A lot of people calling in also, or just lots of stuff shipping out, or what?
Lots of just normal production stuff shipping out the final box sets from the trunk show.
Yeah.
I'm fielding a lot of emails in response from Blade Show. They think, you know what, today nothing. A couple more like supporters of the shirt and stuff like that, but
Are you talking about Shirtgate?
yeah,
Shirtgate, 2022 Shirtgate.
yeah.
The worst thing you can do is if you go back and watch any of it, is if you read the comments. It's the worst thing to do. Like, I know this as a seasoned social
And
media.
you should know better.
As a seasoned social media participant, I know better than to do that. What's your take been this week on all the response? You guys have had a lot of input.
I would say out of every 10 emails or calls, and there have been a lot of them, 1 out of 10, if that, has been negative. And what's interesting is that the ones, and there have been a couple neutral in the middle, like, hey, I support you. I'm wondering if you could have gone about it with kid gloves a little bit more, or, I get that.
Yeah, we could have, because I'm known for kid gloves.
Yeah. But for the most part, it was, hey, brother, thumbs up. You guys are awesome. We support you. And the expletives in the ones who don't agree, it's horrible. And this is not towards you. This is the website email that comes through to me, and it's just horrible. I got a call up, and they're saying that you're racist, which is funny. I got a call. I don't even want to repeat it because it's so bad. But the guy, whoever called, pretended to have a thick
Asian Chinese
accent and say, I want to buy Chinese knives in the heavy accent, and then went straight to expletive. And then I was like, okay, great, bye. And I just hung up.
There are like some middle of the road people who they're saying very adult things, like you could have done it in a more mature way.
They sound like Jordan Peterson. Like, hey, I get that, but if you want to, and I agree with this, if you want to reach the crowds and have it, I think in the grand scheme of things, be more well received, or have people who maybe are on the fence see your perspective, then you speak intellectually and from an intellectual point of view. But a lot of people out there, you say that and it's just like talking to this pen right here. They don't get it.
I do that all the time. Sometimes I'm just fucking making a goof.
I get it. It's like, disciplining your kids. You say, hey, can you clean up your room? Hey, can you clean up your room? You do that 10 times, you're like, okay, I'm fucking done. Clean your fucking room up.
And I was just, it's funny when the T-shirt, when the drawing got, when it kind of came my way, I was like, hey, make the teeth smaller. I didn't make them small enough. And then we had the discussion about thank you, and all that. I mean, it's funny. Those are the two biggest comments. Was
I know, thank
the
you.
teeth and the thank you. Everybody is saying how I'm dividing the community and creating a lot of drama.
Oh my gosh. Listen, you're not dividing. If it is divided, that is how things are.
Yeah.
You're making a political statement, or just you're highlighting what's actually going on. You're saying, hey, just in case you're curious, this is really going on. And all it is it's people are going to say what they're going to say. You're not dividing it. People are responding accordingly.
You know what was interesting? Did you see any of the podcast segments I did with the other night?
Yeah, I watched a few.
What'd you think of those?
I like them. What I've watched so far, I watched Coco, and I watched Dark Timber, and I watched Spartan, and then I had so much going on.
Yeah. It was funny. I interviewed other knife makers, and everybody that I interviewed is having stuff made in China, except for Tim Reeve with Chris Reeve Knives.
Interesting.
So everybody that I interviewed, and a bunch of people were basically saying I'm a hypocrite because I interviewed people who are having knives made in China.
Well, I mean, listen, if you were in Hollywood and you're conservative and you employ people who are on the other side, you're either going to go out of business or you're not. And it's not like we're doing business with them.
Well, look, I have two things I have kind of competing interests. Everybody knows my sentiment and our sentiments about American made. But also these other people in the knife business, they're my friends. So they hear this critique too. They are hearing me always beat the drum about American made. And they call me up and they're like, oh man, I'm sorry, brother. I had to do it. I had to. This guy says that. And it's, I just kind of had this reality. Or, Ramon says to me, he says, man, I can't find employees. I can't grow a company like you've got down in a metropolitan area.
It's a vicious circle. It really is. I can't find employees because of this, but if I continue to outsource to China, it feeds the fuel of not being able to find employees because everything's still outsourced. It's a hard hump to get over.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah. But it was funny how many people, like, there's just people who hate indiscriminately, because there were people, like, I'm doing these interviews with well-known makers in the business, and people are mad I'm doing the interviews, which are thoughtful, great conversations with big personalities, or big people that partake in the industry or they're part of the industry, and I'm getting berated because I'm not attacking them for their Chinese-made connections.
These are good people that are trying to do business, that this is their only option, and because
It's not like for Anthony at Microtech, it's not his only option. But everybody was basically saying I'm a hypocrite for having him on the show, and I'm like, I can't just have people on the show who only do my way of life, and then I can't have guests on the show and then treat them badly.
No, the point is, we've made a choice to do what we're doing. This is what we stand for us, and it makes sense to spread that so that we can build manufacturing in America.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But there are still people out there doing what and they're just trying to make a living, and they're good people, and I'm not berating them. And it's one thing to say, yeah, I do have stuff made in China, and I accept that, and that's what I'm doing. It's another thing to say, no, I make them in the United States, and then you make them in China.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
That's not good.
The other thing is, it's funny when I'm around those guys, they basically kind of, I could tell they alibi to me. They're like, hey, I got it. They like make the excuse to me.
I know.
And I feel bad because they know I beat the drum and I'm not ashamed about it. But I don't want to beat these people up. They're my friends. But I'm unrelenting on the message. The message is very consistent. And I don't let these guys off the hook. When we're all sitting around the table, everybody knows that I'm the crazy, staunchly American-made dude. And a lot of times they say, well, I wish I could, but our reality is this, and I wish, and they kind of, and I don't have to equivocate like that. I don't have to grunt. I just, what's up, savages? Jonathan. So, it's fun for me. I don't ever have to make any excuses. And, I get the late night calls after the guys have had a couple of cocktails.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I wish some, the thing is like, I try to protect everybody in the business. We're trying to buy a steel company. Now, I haven't told anybody this publicly. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to buy a major American steel company. And the only reason I want to buy it, I told you the reason.
Yeah.
What's the reason I want to buy the steel company?
I would imagine because you won't be beholden to anybody else for anything.
And what I've said, and I'll say it, and you can acknowledge if you remember me saying this, why do you want to do this purchase of a company, Greg? And I said, well, as the whole world shifts, or if an invasion in Taiwan happens, and Boeing or a big American manufacturer wants to buy all the steel, Corey, just call us up, ask for Jeff, 623-249-4506. If one or two major American manufacturers during an invasion of Taiwan shift all of their purchasing and sourcing back to the United States, they come in with so much money, they could go to steel suppliers and say, hey, we need to domesticate this production. We need to onshore this material supply. We could come in and pay twice. We could pay twice what the knife industry pays. We need this stuff for jets.
Yeah, I mean, it could
They
get
could put
really
the entire
scary.
knife
All of a
industry
sudden,
out of business.
just done.
So I'm kind of trying to position to make a play to buy this steel company, and if I can pull it off, it'll be a goddamn coup for the knife industry, because what I will do is protect knife steel for knife makers in the U.S. exclusively,
and
so
that's
that
the
nobody
thing.
could come in from any other company or country and buy up the American steel, because we buy so little steel as an industry. One big company could buy it all up and we'd be done.
I know. And this is what that is an endearing gesture because it's not selfish just for us. It's protecting America as a group who wants to manufacture, taking care of our people.
And I'm not trying to be endearing, because
No, but
I
for
don't.
me, I look in,
Yeah.
not as a personal, because you and I, we don't agree on everything, but clearly. But that is endearing. It's like, oh,
We
that's
agree on
what-
a hell of a lot, though, don't we?
No, I mean we agree on a lot. Not delivery, but we agree on
Not-
just about
not,
everything.
Not delivery, yeah.
But just about everything.
I
yeah.
deliver like a 500-pound bomb. That's just the way it goes.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It's it's a serious concern of ours that I believe China's going to invade Taiwan, and it may happen sooner than later. In Arizona here, we've got Taiwan manufacturing coming into the state, buying up land all through where we're at and building gigantic factories. And I see the money in Taiwan, which is really close to what's going on in China. I see them, they're hedging their bets. And not only that, they're putting their money in the American bet, not the Taiwan bet. The companies in Taiwan are not betting that they're going to be there in 10 years. God. They're betting that they're going to need to be here. So these freedom-loving, American in spirit people of Chinese ancestry who live in Taiwan, who are more American than they are Chinese. They look Chinese and they sound and act American, and in their hearts they're American. This is where everybody gets all this stuff very confused. It's very confusing when you start talking about racism and bias and cultural bias and racial bias and political bias. You've got these folks that are ethnically Chinese, and their souls are very much American. They are free, enterprise, freedom-loving, Western democracy, take care of their people and the environment kind of folks. And they'll blend into the United States really, really well, even though they look Chinese. And we see them betting on the American bet, not on the Taiwan bet. And it scares the shit out of me. Because I know if Boeing decided, hey, we need to get all of our trunnion steel now made in the U.S. instead of imported, and we need to get it all of the highest quality, and that would be knife steel, and they go to one of our knife suppliers and say, our knife steel suppliers and say, we want to buy 100 ingots. We'd be screwed.
Yeah, it's a staggering amount that would be
And it would be
a scary situation.
And it would be my friends and our friends that we've made over the years in the knife business who'd all be trying to figure out what to do, So, I'm doing stuff all the time to try and make the knife industry better. I think the knife industry would be better if it got smaller and there was less easy money being made out of China. I think it would be better. It would be more creative. There wasn't a lot of new stuff at Blade Show this year. I know we've talked about it a little bit. I thought the show was boring as hell.
When the biggest thing people are talking about are a freaking t-shirt, there ain't shit going on.
Yeah, there's not a lot interesting going on. And this is the other problem with outsourcing. When you outsource, it's hard to be dynamic with it because it's on the other side of the world and you've got a lot of money, time, energy invested in two companies. And the outsource company, they just want to make more of it. They don't want to make it better. There's no incentive for them to make it cooler. We're sitting here, we deal with returns and we're dealing with customers' feedback. And we're always, every time we run a knife, I'm like, hey, let's make this little change.
Well, it was interesting. I got a call from a very nice gentleman in Muncie, Indiana. And he chewed my ear off and he was awesome. And he said, I've heard lots of things about your knives, and I watched your videos, and then I heard some bad feedback. I watched your videos, and I said, is it true that his tolerances are so great? And then he opened up the 187 drop point. He just got his very first knife, and he said, I was blown away. I won't name any knife, but he has owned, lots of knives over the years, and he said, this is really hands down the nicest knife ever. And he goes, and there was a remark about this particular model and the jimping cutting in, and you must have gone back and looked at it and redesigned it. And he goes, it sounds to me like you get feedback from customers, you take a look at it, you do a redesign. And he goes, that's huge to me that you do that and make corrections and always try and improve.
Well, you
Always
see it.
try and
I'm
improve
always
and make it
driving everybody crazy. I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, let's make this thing. Let's do this thing. Let's move this here. Always trying to refine it and make everything better. And then we've got to weed through the comments, right? Because you get comments that are maybe that guy's an accountant. He's got really soft hands.
Yep.
You got to weed through like what's
Yeah.
legit and what's not. And a lot of it is you try to pick the middle of the river as far as information.
Yep.
So if you've got a small percentage of people really griping about the jimping, a lot of guys say, I love where it helps me position my hand. You have to make a decision. Who do I annoy the least? And so, you miss all of that when your production is 5,000-6,000
Yes,
miles away,
yes.
because the manufacturer over there, they can't shift. I can walk out to a mill, and you've seen me do this, and say,
Yep.
hey guys, let's put a little chamfer right here. I said, I got a comment about this, and I don't need to vote. This is absolutely right. Let's
Yep.
do it.
No, it's priceless to be able to get live feedback from the website, from videos, from customers, from every
Yeah.
different venue, and then say, hey, Greg, this is what I'm hearing. And you go, oh, well, let's go talk about that. Go talk to Alan, get out there, look at it. What's going on? How can we fix this? And you can stop something mid-manufacturing.
You've seen me do it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
hey,
like
throw those
stopping.
400 pieces away.
You can't fucking do that when you get it all the way done to the final process. I can imagine how many people say, God, it's 95% of the way done. Let's send them.
Well, I know that happens.
Yeah.
Like, well, we're going to lose money on all this. And you know how many times you've seen me just take, hundreds of pounds and go, nope, throw them in the fucking garbage. We're not putting those out
and
there.
that just, oh, God.
It hurts when you do it.
What's that where you?
Oh, sepulchre, Harry Carey.
Yeah, every time that happens, I'm like, Harry Carey, oh, yeah.
Who we spend, so that is another one of the upsides of American Made and
Yep.
making it in-house. And for the guys that we make knives for occasionally, whether it would be we do some special projects with Strider, we do some projects with Vehement Knives. We've got some other companies we're working on projects for. As we do these projects, we're sitting there responding in real time to them and their customers. And you don't get that with that big international outsourced component of manufacturing. You only get that when it's just all of us kind of sitting around the American campfire trying to make it right.
We talk about America and not America and ethnicities. I was thinking about this. For me, the word America is kind of synonymous with everything we talk about: liberty, freedom, fighting. There's soul, because everybody's putting their energy, everybody's involved, everybody's putting their energy into it. They want to make it better. This is our place. So for me, I hope that people don't look at the word America and think it's tainted, or why are you, do you know what I mean?
Well, I
I
think.
want to make it sound synonymous with just the concept of what it is all about.
Well, you've heard me say this before. American is the only thing you can choose to be in your heart, even if you're not. If you're Taiwanese and you value freedom and all of these things that we value here, I say they're more American than they are Chinese.
Yeah, it's
but if you
American.
look at them, they look Chinese. But if you listen to them, and you've heard about these customers who come up to me out in the wilds when I'm out and about, and they're like, "Oh, I got to take you to my favorite Taiwanese dumpling place."
Yeah.
They're Taiwanese and they want to talk politics with me. It's fascinating as we get around. What's fascinating is how people. I've seen our country shift. They're afraid of every little thing, and we're almost like we've been beaten up and we're punch drunk. And we're afraid to say the truth anymore. And if you say the truth and it's a little edgy, everybody wants to say, oh, that's edgy, it's wrong, you're a racist. And, you've gotten a chance to stand from the outside and watch this go down.
Yep.
I was just kind of curious your take on it. We
Well,
didn't talk about this, and I didn't brief you. That's what we were going to talk
We
about.
grew up on political cartoons. This shirt is nothing compared to all the political cartoons I saw growing up.
And then they say, oh, times have changed, get with the times.
They shouldn't, in that sense, they shouldn't. There should always be room for commentary, controversy, discussing, let me show you what I think, what I see, and having that banter. We're talking about Ricky Gervais the other day, saying he went to a safe comedy space. What the fuck is that even? What is that?
Yeah.
Comedy is meant to push the boundaries. It's meant to make people think and be thoughtful and go, gosh,
You know, these shirts that we make up, sometimes they're brand oriented and sometimes they're just meant to be funny. You
Well,
see the shirts I wear all the time. Every
yeah.
shirt I wear is a message shirt.
And some of it is made to poke fun at us.
Right. I poke fun at us all the time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know what's happened, but it
Well,
seems
people
like
have lost their sense of humor. Absolutely. I can laugh at myself. I can laugh at other people. I can laugh at situations. And then I just kind of go on and go about my business. I try not to take things personally. I think when you become real happy with yourself and confident with yourself and you happy that you've made decisions for yourself, then things just don't affect you anymore. Like, I get it, that's fine. That's your thought. I'm not going to take it personally. You can believe that way. You look really worked up about that. Why don't you go be worked up about that?
do you think I shouldn't have done the shirt?
No, I think the shirt was great. And you said you were in line and you said, hey, it's pretty edgy. It's pretty,
I did. I mean, I
cringeworthy."
said it hundreds of times as I gave out the shirts. Hundreds of times that, hey guys, the shirt's kind of edgy. You don't have to check it out before you receive it. And I didn't get, but maybe one or two people who said no thanks. But I get one or two people who say no thanks to shirts every year.
No, I don't think anything was wrong with that shirt. Well, I mean, when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's going to hurt. And it did. And guess who took all the emails? Mostly, you saw comments too, but but that has to happen sometimes. That's got to hurt.
And sometimes, honestly, you guys, I'm always trying to push out a message. I'm always trying to push out, like, okay, is this video damage control?
No, I think it's good for people to see us together because I'm not I do my videos, you do your videos, and it's good for us to be
We
together.
literally can be in the building sometimes and not talk for days because she's at one corner of the building, I'm at the other, just by the way the layout of the
Oh,
building
yeah,
is.
people are like, is Greg here? I'm like, I don't know.
We're here all the time, but
I know, I missed Atlanta too. Next year, I'm going to go next year. I missed going.
It was interesting. It was well attended. It felt like on Friday with your like most engaged hyper enthusiasts who take the day off work and they make the sojourn. And then Saturday and Sunday are always what I would call like your casual attendees. They're the folks who like, hey, there's a knife show in town. Let's go check it out. Saturday and Sunday were absolute graveyard days. Now, as I looked around, the place was absolutely dead, and Microtech's booth and our front counter was cranking.
Yeah.
But we weren't doing a lot of it. It's Friday. You could do the whole show on Friday and wrap it up. It was a huge Friday, biggest Friday we've ever had. So it was just kind of interesting. It was interesting, the reaction of the guys who were there, and interesting to see the fallout from it afterwards.
Well, I think the shirt was great. I think it made its point. And then I think it's necessary afterwards to have intellectual conversation about it so that people don't just think, It's not just a Cro-Magnon caveman shirt. There's thought and there's a process behind it, and it was meant to provoke.
Yeah, I was being provocative with it, and it apparently provoked. But I mean, it's crazy how many people are just they're unhinged. So the guys.
It doesn't matter what you say or what topic it is. They're going to unhinge no matter what.
Well, it's so funny. They see the shirt and then they're like, "Oh, that's the angry divorce guy," and then I saw that. Oh, I mean, the comments, the correlations to other areas of my life based on the shirt were pretty awesome. What are you cracking up at?
I'm just laughing.
Funny but true.
The art of satire. Oh, yeah, satire.
And
Gun.
if you guys, you'll notice my videos, they're under entertainment. I don't have them under information. This is just fun. We're just kind of having some fun.
Oh, boy. You'll find out.
Alpha dog is looking around. But, I do a lot of stuff that's just kind of meant to be fun, and I'm trying to be a little cheeky. Sometimes I'm a little off color. And we sometimes forget we're in our little bubble of kind of like.
I like my new T-shirt idea.
What's your new T-shirt idea?
Bowl in a China shop.
All right, so give everybody this.
All right, I want your face superimposed on a bowl with a daisy sticking out the bowl's booty, just like the picture at the pool, in a China shop, and I want little, $9.99 knives on this, and I want you just moving around, knocking the knives over, knocking shit over, broken on the ground, looking over through the window that says China shop, going, huh? I think that would be funny.
Bull in a China shop.
Bull in a China shop.
Okay, I see it.
I think that'd be funny.
We'll see if we could draw that up. You got any other
yeah.
T-shirt ideas while we're sitting here?
Well, we got to come up with something new. It's been a while.
It's time for some new shirts.
Or like people see me wearing the shirts in the videos. I know the Praetorian helmet, the Spartan helmet, guys love that shirt. That would be a good one to possibly bring back.
All right, I'll start bringing. I've heard so much about their shirt, but what is this? What is this?
I don't know.
It's a big orange thing with an emoji on it, Alpha Dog. I don't know how you do that. That's pretty cool.
Mel Brooks. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Blazing Saddles.
Yep. Can you imagine Blazing Saddles being filmed these days?
Oh my gosh.
Impossible.
The Sheriff's near.
I can't believe he's. Yeah, that's true. It's funny. Also, when I'm filming my shows, people say some off-color stuff, and I generally delete all that stuff from our podcast to keep that.
Yeah.
To keep people from injuring themselves.
Yeah.
But I feel like a kind of a coward if I censor myself. So anyway, it seems as if customers are noticing us on Google. Apparently, we're getting all these notifications. That's kind of bizarre.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I've never seen all
Tropic
these.
Thunder.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that one.
I think it's because we.
Where's all the white people?
I think it's because we have a bunch of people watching this.
Nice.
Listen, you guys, it's Friday, and Amy and I haven't shot a video in a long time. And, I know a lot of you don't know, but we split up a few years ago, and we've been making it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Has it been better for you?
It's been better for me. You are a bull, for sure. There's no doubt about it. And when we met, I was the seventh in a family of 8. I was a duckling that I just followed along because that's all I ever knew how to do. And you were such a take charge kind of guy. I was like, yeah, you seem like you got it all figured out. Let's do this thing. And I have, and still do, have always believed in you. And I'm like, God, and we are of the same frame of thought on everything. I'm like, well, yeah, and I just stopped thinking for myself. I think, I stopped making decisions for myself. And then at a certain point, I would come to you and say, hey, what do you think? You're like, well, this is a better way to do it. Not because it was Greg Medford telling me to do something, but because you're like, I've done the research, I've thought about this, I see what you're trying to do, I've been there, can I help you? But a lot of times you don't walk through that whole can I help you? And there were rough moments, and you know it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's hard to get out of boss man mode.
It's hard to get out of boss man.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying, hey, you got to be able to go home and go from work to being a wife. And I had such a hard time doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get emotional talking about it.
You don't have to. It's okay. It's okay. And I dropped the ball, in a lot of ways because I came home, asking you to go home and step into being a wife. And I was going home and wasn't stepping out of being a boss. And I miss that. I missed that. I didn't do that right.
Such is life.
Such is life.
But there's that thing again. What is that
I don't
thing?
know what Alpha Dog's got going on here, but he's got
know.
all kinds of things. Anyways, we just kind of rip it pretty honest, you guys. We don't
pull any punches, and we make mistakes just like everybody else. And my biggest mistake, I was thinking about this the other day. One of the jobs of a good woman behind a good man is to help keep them humble. And I think there were times where I should have said, hey, shh, stop. Not for other people, because I got to tell you, I get it, and I get but for me, hey, stop. That's not right.
Yeah.
And I never fought that fight for me. And so I'm just learning to set boundaries and say, hey, like this morning, hey, let's go shoot a video. I agreed with you, and I was like, okay, I got stuff to do, and I'll come around on my terms. And I agree. I wanted to be here. I wanted to do this video. I agreed. I had thought about it myself, and I just on my time.
Okay. Any ETA on the M48s touching down? Let's answer them. What do you got?
M48s?
Yeah.
Those are going out hot and heavy right now.
Listen, I don't know who this alpha dog is, but what the fuck is all this weird
know.
shit here on the screen? 1999. All
Is
this
this
stuff.
directing us somewhere we can buy something?
Alpha Dog, get all this shit off here. I don't want any of this bullshit on my thing here. I don't know why there's prices popping up.
Bye, Alpha Dog. Do your meeting.
Weird.
I don't know.
Let's take a look. Let's see what we got going on.
Yeah, let's do some responses.
Want to do some responses?
Yeah.
Steel
Steel
Capital.
Woohoo!
Glad to catch you too. Hey, Greg. Hope all is well. Loving the Ace K and Smooth Criminal.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. My shirt arrived. My shirt arrived yesterday from a friend who got one at Played Show. Love it. Oh,
Nice.
geez. Hi, Amy. Greetings
Andreas,
from Germany.
hello.
That was Andreas?
Yes, hi.
Oh, nice. Saw the shirt an hour ago and now I want one. All right. I've slightly torn to some of these guys in a classy way into anti-social media
Yep.
page. Hello, Medfords. Hello, Knife Crazy. JR, thanks. Yeah, we stand for our principles. We work at it. We don't always get it perfectly.
Interviews were good. Hi, Chris.
Thanks for appreciating and watching the interviews, guys. What's up, Savages? Hey, Jonathan. How do I
Hi.
become a
We
dealer?
already
We already
talked to him,
talked
yeah.
about that. Hey, Shane. Ghost Malone. What's up, man? People like the folks at Knife Center with double standards are the ones. Oh, yeah. Well, listen, don't be too hard on the Knife Center guys.
They're finding their way, and they're trying not to upset their
They're
customers.
not everybody,
Can roll like a big dog.
not everybody rolls like a fucking baller. What can I tell you? Not everyone lays out there, takes guts. Oh, yeah, thanks, JR. Appreciate that. Good afternoon to you all. Greetings, you two. Interviews are awesome. They're always going to be naysayers. Big picture, we're working it. Glad you guys like the interviews. The other USA knife makers respect you, Greg and Amy. Yeah. IMHO. What's IMHO mean?
Laughing man. Oh, I don't know. IMHO. I am.
Okay.
Sorry.
Look, here's the deal. If every major blade distributor stopped, I could still buy Medford knives from direct. That's easy, and I'd rather support. Thanks, man. I could smell the no flakes melting now. Greg, you're one of a character, brother. Blah, 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 blah. Thanks for the compliment, Jonathan. Great idea, Medfords. You guys seriously need new T-shirts.
We do.
Rowdy Ron, you're totally right. I'm
Yeah.
going to be working on it. Full steam ahead. Everyone wants to be partaking in Medford University really changed my respect and perspective.
Yeah.
Thanks, Will. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a lot of work putting that together. Hey, Maurice. Mohammed. Keep up the good work. I'm from Hong Kong. Communism, along with global politics and creator, dominate everything else. Mohammed, you're right. Different models for different folks. Hey, Nate, what's going on? Love the content. 9th Medford. Nice, Jim.
Oh, hi, Jim.
That's Jim.
Hi.
Is he our Marine?
Yeah.
Semper Fi. Greg, you need to make a buck 110 or 119. Maurice, Buck already does that.
Buck makes that.
Harry Carey, holy cow. I meant Sepulchre. Loving this. I love my Smooth Criminal. Thanks, man. A lot of Smooth Criminal comments I get.
A lot. Yeah. Well, we just did a recent run, so they're out there.
Brown Libertarian. Just want you to know this Hispanic American thinks you guys are awesome. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
We had a group of guys. We had a guy talking to us about starting a black knife federation.
Oh, the shirt.
Yeah.
Good idea you got.
He was showing me that. People say you're racist or just ignorant, diluting the world. Okay, thank you for your support. Everything's racist. You're right.
I don't want to beat all these drums, you know.
Yeah.
Andrew Dice Clay. It was awesome.
Andrew Dice Clay was awesome. Multiple people say I support Medford Knife. That means you're racist also. Yet not one person here says anything racist at all. Why? Because we aren't racist. Yeah. I took a second job bouncing in a strip club to make extra money. I needed to buy an American knife.
Got to do what you got to do.
Hell yeah. The guy says to me, I remember who this was. He says, he goes, you wouldn't believe how many titties I had to look at to get one of your knives. That's what he said.
What?
Because he worked at a strip club.
Oh, that's it.
yeah. So Jeff and I were standing there.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
And I go, that's the best thing ever.
That's
You just
horrible.
lamented to me how many boobies you had to look at to
That's
get a
sad.
night. Virgil Barrett, maybe. You guys are great together. Personalities complementary. You know, we are great together. We were married a long time,
Yep,
and that ended, but we're still great friends.
we are.
You need anything?
No. All
Thanks.
right, you guys.
All right, you guys, that's us just doing our thing, letting you know we're still the united front here. And unscripted, I yanked her out of her day, much to her chagrin, because
Because I got lots of shit to do.
she got stuff to do, and all I'm doing is goofing off. All right, Patriot Knife Works getting in a box of goodies from MKT. Yeah, for sure.
And more.
All right, you guys, we just hit 100. A lot of stuff going on. I don't know if anybody knows what all this crazy price stuff is up on the top here. Let me know. That's
George. what up?
bonkers. I don't know. Anyways, we're out of here, you guys,
All right, you
and
guys.
have a great weekend.
Mwah.
Greg and Amy Medford
Peace.
from Medford Knife. We're out.